Welcome to the Florida Trail Runners Podcast. Out in the woods, out in the swamps, down by the Willie Coochie. It started with a podcast, now it's a thing. The Florida Trail Runners. Florida Trail Runners. Welcome to the Florida Trail Runners Podcast. Out in the woods, out in the swamps, down by the Willie Coochie. It started with a podcast, now it's a thing. The Florida Trail Runners. I see the skunk ape chasing me down, chasing me down.
All right, so here we are with episode 114 of the Florida Trail Runners podcast. And yep, I know it's been a while since we have had an episode, but it is good to be back. You know, the first episode of this podcast aired on January 13th, 2022, and the podcast ran strong until about 2024, but really like mid-2023. I just got busy with work, with life. Here we are after a 2-year hiatus. You know, we're back in 2026, and it's going to be exciting. I'm excited once again, you know, to share the stories, adventures, and the voices of the Florida Trail Runners, whether it's here in the state or traveling out of state. So, for episode 114, we are talking about the long haul 100 mile. And as you could figure, this would be a great comeback episode, especially for me. I love the long haul. It's a great time. And this year, I was out at Aid Station 1 with both Joe Millers, and we had an absolute blast out there. But for this episode, we're not talking about that. We are chatting with Lovelyn Findley, Luke Vidal, Michael Pott, and for his first time 100-mile finish, Jeff Bowman. So hey, let's just jump right in. Hey.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, hey, Joe.
Okay. Hey, I made it. There we go.
Yo.
Hey.
Yeah. Y'all got me?
Yeah. Hey, Michael.
Yeah. I don't know whether to be on my my satellite internet or the cellular, but if it's working now, then you got me.
Nah, you sound clear, brother.
You sound super clear.
Well, how we doing? Everybody recovering okay?
Yep.
I'm good. Been running all week.
I'm hanging in there, man.
Yeah.
Whoa.
It's a little cold. Got the chili on the stove.
Hey, have you guys watched the McRae documentary?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
We watched it the second it dropped.
Same.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, I enjoyed it.
Yeah, Jeff Kelly was on it.
Yeah, I know. She looked hot in it. Are we recording yet?
Yeah.
Yes. What did y'all think of Bobby Joe and Jeff Iozza doing a live broadcast from two different areas? And did y'all catch the videos?
I got to watch all of it when we got home. Yeah.
I think it's pretty cool what he's doing, man, and he needs to continue doing it. Yeah, I haven't watched all of them yet, but it's definitely a step up from the years that I've seen him on the trail. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
They do an awesome job. I mean, going out there, just spending their own time recording what we love. So everybody else who, you know, I've had so much FOMO watching their live streams. It's crazy. It's like,
Yeah, I
oh
enjoyed
man, that's why I ran Tampa in the first place, was because I watched that freaking live stream the first year. Like, I'm missing out on this. That looks so fun.
Oh, let's not forget to mention that Mike Albert's pictures posted today. So if you're looking for that,
Oh, did
go
they?
check him out. He did a great job.
All
he
right.
did get a great job. Thanks, Michael. Shout out
Yeah.
to you and your friends.
Shout out to Mike.
I guess kicking off into this episode, I know some of y'all have been on the podcast, you know, back when I was active, you know, doing things. But being that it's been a hot minute since the podcast has been around, I guess we should do some introductions, you know, like who are you and what's that running background for y'all?
All right. My name's Jeff Bowman. You've probably seen me out at a lot of races with Ultras and Skunk Ape events and even Andy and Amy's races volunteering. I moved here 6 years ago from Mississippi. Avid runner, was really big into it, got pretty fast, got to Boston, and then just kind of struggled through injuries for like about the past 3 years. So I've just been kind of volunteering and, trying to help out with, all my buddies that are race directors, races while they, kind of get started up on them. That's kind of my story, but I'm back to it. August, I decided I was going to do a 100 miler. I haven't been running for 3 years, and here I am, and just completed 100 miles. So getting my feet wet again.
All right, I'm Luke Vidal. I started running probably 7 years ago, doing like 5Ks and whatnot. Graduated into ultras about 3 years ago now. Long haul is my first 100 miler 2 years ago. And so 2026 was my third year. Really enjoying the sport and the people that are around it.
All right, I'll go next. Lovelyn Findley, if you're from Orlando in Central Florida, you probably know that I lead a group called O-Town Blazers. We're a trail running group here in Central Florida. Started up running about, I don't know, when was 2021? 4 or 5 years ago, really because of COVID. But then again, before that, I really enjoyed backpacking and hiking the Appalachian Trail and, just kind of, section hiking it. And then I found, trail running. Somebody told me that they could run on the trail rather than hiking. So I started doing that. Really, really kind of ramped up a little bit from 50K to 100 mile in less than, 6 months. And then I did a 200 within that same exact year, kind of ramped it up. So doing, 100 here and there, 50K here and there here in Florida and some in the mountains too. Just really, really enjoyed the sports and the training and especially the community. I'm lucky to be part of an amazing community, of a trail running community here in Central Florida. So just want to keep doing it. Thank God I'm not injured and have not been injured at all. So just want to keep doing what I love. So here I am.
Awesome. Well, my name's Mike and Pot, and I grew up here in North Florida, Tallahassee area. Yeah, it's really kind of a long story. I'll keep it short, but I'm almost 50 now, so it's 10 years ago. I just kind of saw I kind of needed to change my life. Grew up doing everything but running, really, and that was what I did worst. But just decided I was either going to go one way or the other every day, get better or worse, and just started walking and doing yoga, trying to get a start on it and straighten out the body, and started running, got hurt, got on the bike, was always a water guy, so naturally went towards a triathlon thing and trying to learn how to surf. So I still wasn't running, but in that, I did a aqua bike and left out the run. So, then I was like, well, I need to do a real one, and did one, did pretty good, and then did another one and actually almost won it in my age group. And the guy that won it was a runner, and he passed me there at the end. So coming out of that, I'm like, well, I got to start running. And just started doing little runs and off the bike, and then somewhere along the way, it's like I can almost remember the day where all of a sudden it felt great, and I stopped riding the bike, stopped getting in the pool, stopped paddling, and just started running. Kind of mom was passing away at the same time, and kind of found the solitude and relief from some PTSD, to be honest, out on the trails. Kind of got the same feeling on the trails that I had found in the ocean. So, can only surf when there's waves. So there's lots of trails around. So I just started running a lot, and so I've only been running seriously for hardly not even 2 years, and just jumped right in, ran a marathon and DNF the Florida Death Race, and then just started building from there, 50 milers and 100Ks, and did my first 100 miler and on November 1st, Pinhoti 100. So I don't know, I'm all in on the hundreds after that, and wanted to sink myself into the Florida 100-mile trail community. So off the long haul I ran.
All right.
That's
Oh yeah,
awesome.
man.
That's awesome.
Yeah, thanks.
There's a good amount of 100 milers within our state, but I think you guys kind of already said it too. With Luke, this was your third year at long haul. Loveland, this was your second year. Mike, you've done Pinhoti, and Jeff. I mean, man, this was Jeff's first 100 miler. So Jeff,
Right.
I know you kind of made this decision kind of late. Not a whole lot of time for your build up training wise, but how did you end up choosing to go for it at the long haul?
Well, I mean, it was like the first time injury free, and I was going to either run it or volunteer. And I texted Andy when I saw that it was filled, and I was like, dude, it's like, I think I can finally do this. Like, I'm not intimidated by challenges. I mean, kind of like Mike, he just signed up for a marathon, and then, a month later, he did one or whatever. So I wasn't intimidated. I started a good little training program with kind of using my weekends as running like a long 25-mile run or 30-mile run, and then Sunday follow it up with another 15. And I think that's like the key ingredient to like long distance running, especially trail. It's like it's different from my road work that I used to do all the time. So yeah.
Yeah, I know for you, Michael, I mean, you've done the Pinhoti 100.
Yes,
You've been
sir.
out at Skunk Ape 50. How did you end up picking the long haul?
Well, after Pinhoti, I just got a super boost of confidence. Not knowing what was going to happen in that, and then really just kind of coming to the door, at mile 70 after a climb pinnacle, pretty much coming to the conclusion or thinking that I was like, man, I don't even know if I can do this, and being able to pull it off, went pretty hard and did a bunch of passing and impressed myself the last 20 miles on kind of injured leg. So I was like, I'm all in on this after, the emotions of these things afterwards. I kind of tried to pump the brakes and put myself on restrictions before I signed up for anything else. But, I knew instantly that I'm going to be out doing these things all over the country. And what came to me was, hey, how you going to go out around Arizona and go climb and get into these bigger races that you're dreaming of or seeing, and without, what if someone asks if I go somewhere and they ask me if I've had you run long haul? I can't say no. I'm from Florida. So like, to me, my year was, all right, we're going to go knock out some Florida 100 milers and meet everybody and race everybody and, be all in and just really train and build my legs and get faster and work my 100-mile game. And then, go to some 2 multi-day events. And, I'd like to go to some bigger 100-milers out west. I'd like to go end up in Western States one day. Like, come on, like that would be nuts. So, my story. I mean, I was the slowest kid on my football team in my neighborhood, grew up overweight. Like I said, there's a lot of things I didn't do good, but and running was was the worst thing I did. So like, I mean, that was like, if you would have told me years ago I would be running 100 milers, wouldn't even have believed it. But, so now I just kind of like, I just want to engulf myself and actually get the experience here in my home state, put the miles on my legs, and just, I learned so much about myself and, the growth in between each races from the experience and from what I need to do and what I don't need to do out there. And, my mindset, now I'm at a place where I almost know what's coming in my mind, and I almost have a plan to divert it when it's coming, and just the growth I get from the races. So I'm just kind of all in, and I wanted to build my so-called resume here in my own state. And like you said, I did that 50-mile Skunk Ape 50-miler last year after it's kind of my rebound after my Florida death race DNF, and I just love that course. And so whenever I got back, I was on restriction. I already knew I was doing Skunk Ape 100, but little iffy on my time from Pinhoti. But I had to pull the trigger, and I got on the wait list just because seems like, man, if you're going to be a Florida trail runner, you got to go through long haul. So That's what I went. That's what I decided to do, and I moved all the way up to number one on the wait list and was stuck there for like 2 weeks. Like stressing out, and then all of a sudden they released it. And,
Yeah, and I guess, kind of with that, being for Lovelyn, year 2, and Luke, it's year 3. And as we walk down memory lane here, Lovelyn, your first year, you were 28 hours, like 14 minutes or something like that. Now you're 25 hours. Luke, your first long haul was in 2024. You got 6th place, like 19 hours, 39 minutes. 2025, you're 8th overall, 18 hours, 35 minutes. And then this year, with doing the Just Survive 125, just before long haul, you were still 15th overall, 19 minutes, 49 minutes, or something like that. And then I guess, with all that being said, a second year, a third year, what brings y'all back to the long haul 100?
The people. You really can't beat a Andy and Amy race. And just the community that surrounds them is pretty incredible. They bring out all the best. Just fun, man.
Yeah, I would have to agree with Luke. This is one of those races that I would definitely want to come back because it is kind of a big party of all the trail runners out there. Whether you're new or you're seasoned, it's just really nice. I mean, alone itself, the course is definitely daunting. For me, loops are very daunting to me than a point to point because it's
Agreed.
so easy to just get off and say, you know what, I'm done. So it's definitely the course, but definitely the people because you're gonna have a great time. You're gonna see a bunch of your friends. You're gonna give high fives. You're gonna encourage one another. I think it's one of those races that I always encourage other runners who are wanting to do their first 100 to say, hey, if you want one, this is it. But don't expect any 100 or loops to be easy just because it's a flat Florida. There's definitely demons that come out during those mile 70 and mile 80. So it's a wonderful race. I mean, my first year was just the most awful weather. It was the muddiest time. So I really wanted to just come back and redeem myself because, just after a year, I kind of learned a lot from nutrition to better training. And I wanted to put it out there. I really wanted that green buckle, but man, it just hurts at some point and you just slow down. And I just couldn't move fast as much as I wanted to. So, but I'm really happy with my new PR and that I worked really hard for that time. I really did.
With, the course is so flat, a lot of times you do have some elevation in these trail races, does the course being so flat, does that change things?
100%. I was talking to Sally about this because Sally was, I think she was recommended by Harvey Lewis to do this race. When we were chatting on the trail, she saw me doing my intervals of running and walking and running just right at the beginning. I mean, right at the beginning, first, second mile, I was already doing my intervals. And we were talking about it, and she said, "You're smart for doing that now." And I was telling her that we're using the same exact muscle. If we're just running this whole entire flat course, you're using the same exact muscle. So I'm trying to train my body to do the back and forth of walking and running because those are using all different kinds of muscles. So it really is very daunting to say, okay, it's flat, it should be easy. But I run mountains before. I mean, flat is just as hard as elevation just because it's different muscles.
Same here with me. It wasn't any easier than Pinhoti. It was just different. As in, I wish I would have went to the run walk intervals a little sooner, but I ran the first half pretty steady, and then kind of pumped the brakes a little bit on the third one. But and then went to a run walk interval later in the race when I kind of had to, and I found it worked real well for me, and I Pinhoti and the point to point just, isn't the elevation and you're using different muscles, like she said, where, you really have to, on that flat course, you really have to make a point to do that throughout the day, I think, or, it can catch up with your legs. And, I like the community aspect of it. I love that adventure of a point to point, and the loop can be daunting, but I kind of like to see everybody, and you're not alone too often. So that's kind of always a boost. And I like to see the people changing and what's happening with everybody, because you're kind of seeing people whether they're falling apart or running great, and at different points throughout the race. So I enjoy the loop and for what it is, but it's definitely a great first time 100 miler for anybody, I think.
It's definitely beautiful out there too. That loop
Yeah,
is not disappointing. I could run that all day, every day.
me
Yeah, I
too.
agree.
Yeah, I agree
Yeah,
on that.
Yeah, and I think kind of building off of that, for those who have never been out there before, like what kind of trail are we looking at for long haul?
Flat, tall Florida pines.
No technical.
Yeah, not
Not
nothing
Rudy.
technical at all. Not Rudy. It's
Just a
perfect. It's a flat, fast course.
yeah, it
Yeah.
was like grass carpet most of the time. Some of the roots and little bumps and dips, of course, get aggravating because it's the loop. Because you're like, okay, there's that route. I gotta go around again or stop here, slow down. And by the sixth time, you're done. But the course really is great. And I didn't get sick of it. But yeah, it's pretty basic. It's nice and wide, and
What
yeah,
I call a
grass.
real Florida. And the light changes everything. When it's just a sunrise, when we just get started, right? When it's about dark, and everything changes when the sun comes up, and then when there's high noon, and you have that light, just the light changes all the scenery. Like everybody's saying, you can't really get tired of it. Just, it's very, when people hear about, oh, it's loops, and I don't want to do that. Like everything changes every single loop.
Yes, each loop was
How you
different,
feel.
and before you know it, it's dark. And
It's
it's
dark
like,
already. Yep,
yeah. So
yep.
each loop was different. The third one was hot. It was. So I take it each one a little different, kind of break them up. I even, switch up my gear a little bit, just to kind of make things seem different. But
Well, I was gonna iterate. I like the locations of the aid stations this year. I think they were perfectly placed apart, and we were able to see them like within 5 miles every time. So I kind of enjoyed that portion of it.
Yeah, Jeff, that's a good point, because each of the loops is like 16.7 miles. And then, as you just mentioned, the aid stations are pretty close. It's like 3.3 to aid station 1. You do that loop. You're back
8.8.
at the aid station around mile 8.5 miles, then out to aid station 2, which is like 13.2 miles. And then it's basically 3.5 back to the, start finish area.
Yep.
And I guess kind of with that, because you do have a lot of opportunities for your crew.
It was my first one. I was just going out there just kind of see what I can do. Uh, there's a lot of lessons learned. I feel like I can do a lot better than a 26 hour 100. So, but it's just my first go, and I got lessons learned. And maybe I'll pursue this more. Maybe I don't. But next time I pursue it, I'm going to be pushing at the 21, 22 mark. I would hope.
there you go.
Yeah, you know what I heard? Because I mean, Luke would be able to say this because we've done it a couple of times. Is that the year before we were able, if you were in that parking lot B, or the the cruise station where the camping grounds is, you would see them twice in years past. So it was really, really for us runners, it's really nice to see our crew twice if you were parked there. And because then you don't have to carry as much with you, you don't have to carry as much fuel with you or water with you, because at some point, the water gets heavier, your crew gets a little bit heavier at some point of the night. So you do want to carry less. So it did make a difference this year. But I didn't mind it because, like you said, Joe, the aid stations were kind of close apart. I mean, the way I looked at it at some point, after the second loop and going to loop 3, I looked at your aid station and said, okay, I'm only going to see Joe 3 more times or 4 more times. It's like I was counting down because if you start counting how many miles you have left, you're gonna get disappointed and it's all mental. But if I say, "Oh, I get to see Joe 4 more times," it's a lot better, right? Like, it's not as bad. Or I get to see all the Joes 4 more times or 2 more times, and then, okay, this is my
The Joe
last time
crew.
I'm going to see them. I'm gonna say bye. I'm gonna say thank you to all of them. Like it really made a huge difference that the aid stations are closed, and it made it, to me, mentally, it helped for sure.
I enjoyed the aid stations. I don't really stop at aid stations too much, and I think the 17-ish mile loop is about perfect. I like the longer loops. I can pretty much carry what I need, like water wise. I think I stopped at Joe's aid station quite a bit, but I don't know. I don't really eat a whole bunch on my runs, so like I'll eat when I get back to my crew spot, which was at the start finish line. That's pretty much it. I might snack a little bit during it, but it's like a granola bar, like maybe 6, 7 miles after my stop.
Yeah. And I want to reiterate on that, Luke. You not stopping at aid stations. Well, being my first time, I realized how much an aid station can really suck the time out of you if you just kind of rest there. And 20 minutes gone before you know it, and that just time
It
just
adds up quick,
yeah.
dude. It adds up quick.
And to add on to
Keep
that, your legs tighten up. Like
Yeah.
Yep.
you lose that freshness
Yeah.
fast.
It'll cost you your green buckle.
It did. It did. My
Yeah.
first.
Cost me mine. Well, I had a problem with my watch, a stupid watch, and it was the only thing, late in those races, it's hard to do anything with your brain, let alone keep some time. And like I said earlier, I was really stuck on that, or really that run 3 walk 2 was keeping me going and making time just fly by, and I was kind of stuck on it, and my watch was dying. So thank goodness I came back through that loop, and Big Joe Miller saved me and actually had a charger there. And yeah, I wasted 10 minutes and regrouped, but I didn't see a way. I was running for a little bit, and I would think I was overrunning, and then I would look at my watch, and I would been running for 47 seconds. So I knew there was no way I was going to stay on any kind of time unless I kept my watch charged up. So I enjoyed the aid stations. It was nice having the portalettes. They had places to wash your hands, and of course, all the snacks or food you could need. But shout out to Big Joe Miller for saving me, even though that cheap Garmin cost me my green buckle. It got me to the finish line.
Yeah, I saw Joe Miller helping a lot of people out there. He was doing a great job keeping them going, especially in the late hours when everybody's just over it. And they're like on loop 4, and they're just done. And he's just keeps getting them going. Every time I came to the aid station, I see him working on somebody. So appreciate that.
Yeah, I'm like Luke. I'm a person who just keeps moving, and usually I have everything I need. That's kind of the way I train and what I do. I can usually skip through and have my water or just get a top off. I usually have all my stuff, but it is nice to have that when you need to. But the time just flies right by. So you make that decision to sit down like I did, charge a watch. Before you know it, 15 minutes is gone, and yeah, I got in at 24:11. So that one's been sitting with me a little bit, but I'll get that green buckle next year probably.
Next time. Yeah.
Yeah. But
Hey,
but you save a lot of time just moving. Just keep moving. That's kind of my thing, and especially when it gets late, just don't stop. Like just keep moving forward, and saves when like you said, hours when it comes down to 100 miles.
I'm curious, did anybody like hallucinate or anything? I was told I'm supposed to hallucinate and see pirates and stuff, green figures in the forest and stuff.
One of the runners behind me was hallucinating and seeing monkeys. So
Oh, I know who
maybe
you're
it was
talking
him.
about. It's a
It's
lady,
true though.
wasn't it?
It can't
A
happen.
female?
Can't happen.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, I know who you're talking about. I ran into her, passed her about mile 80, I think. Um,
I thought maybe I was hallucinating and not seeing the monkeys. Maybe they were really there.
I was seeing snakes, to be honest. There was those little wiggly lines in the ground, and it looked like somebody was driving down the road and like leaking oil. And as time went on, all of a sudden, it looked like snakes. So I was jumping from side to side
Oh
on
God.
the trail. And then later, late in the race, when I was in a battle to against that 24-hour clock, and I knew every minute counted after I touched my watch. I probably shouldn't be saying this on a podcast, but of course I kept moving and tinkled while I was going down the trail. And when I did that, I realized that
We all
that
do
was
it.
the
Don't worry.
line I had been seeing for all those hours. But it looked like snakes as the night went on, and I just kept having to like jump over it, and there was no way I could not see them. And some of the roots started looking, like snakes. So I was hopping over stuff after 70 miles, and that wasn't good. So, but other than that, no alligators, no monkeys for me.
But yeah, I guess we should actually kick it into, race morning. You're all lined up, Andy's on the mic, you take off, take me into loop number 1. Cause I feel like the first loop always sets the tone.
Yeah, who's first?
Everybody's going fast.
Lovelyn, go. Have at it, Lovelyn.
Yeah, well, I have a game plan, and I knew that if I need to stick to my plan, right? And I wanted to be at my pace at the first loop to be at about 10:30 average. And so I did, like I said, from the get go, I just did the run walk, but during my run, I was going fast. So I was passing people, and then while they were running, and then I would walk, and then I was past them again. So we're like leapfrogging. So it's kind of weird, but I just wanted, it's cool still in the morning. I knew it was going to get hot that day. So I wanted to get my fastest split to be right in the first loop, because I knew the second loop I'm going to slow down. I immediately started eating, right? I knew I was going to start eating. I mean, obviously there was a lot of nerves, just starting it, because I know that this whole thing can just blow up and everything can go wrong, regardless of how we feel. So I just really just remember my plan to make sure I eat right in the beginning, and then just stick with the plan, and who cares? And if everybody's going fast and passing you, don't worry about them. This is your race. You'll pass them later, which I did. So that was the plan. First loop.
Yeah. Well, I kind of went probably about the same pace, 10:30 average. I was running with my friend Renee, who I ran long haul course with a few weeks back, and she ended up doing about a 21-hour 100-miler. And I feel I could have hung with her, but I kind of blew up on lap 2, and I thought I was going to have to quit. It's like I was limping, and I got to back to the aid station, the one that Fuller was out at, going back to the north. And my wife's like, listen, don't DNF, just walk there, get to Chris, let him check you out, your PT, like what's wrong with you. And then, and if you have to quit, you have to quit. So I just kind of kept walking, and, I eventually got to him, and I was just like, I fixed immediately, like stretched out and everything. So like, it was horrible. I thought I was out. I shouldn't have survived past loop 1.2.
Wow. Wait,
So
keep going.
yeah, I knew it was going to be a long day when that happened, but I feel fine with a sub 27, having to walk like
Yeah.
38 of the miles or something like that, maybe more. So,
Yeah, you crushed it, man.
eh,
I remember you walking by me, and I'm fairly certain you said, "I'm about to loop you."
yeah, that was me. That was me
Talking
hallucinating.
shit. No, I started out. I kind of had a plan to. I was actually I was trying to get Nick Urena a sub 20 if he could stick with me. I knew like going out, it's pretty I could get a sub 20 on this course. So I told him just stick with me, and we started out, and then I'm like, man, my freaking hips and my glutes are killing me. Like, I thought I was fully recovered from just survive. I was not. So plans change. I slowed down a bit, and I don't know, just enjoyed the day, man. I ran with a bunch of friends. It was awesome. I ran with Scott and just anybody that would stop and talk to me. It was having
Yeah,
a blast out there.
it's funny you mention your hips. That's kind of like what my issue was, and I wonder if it's just because of the uneven ground, like you hit when you hit those tire marks. You know what I'm talking about, and just like you're running on kind of a slope a lot of the times when it gets to certain areas, and I wonder if that's what's causing the hip problems because I've never had any
Yes,
before. So that's pretty common.
it's that ultra flat stuff, man.
Yeah.
It'll tear
Yeah.
you up. It's like different spots every year, but this year hips just we're not dealing with it properly.
Yeah, it went real well. Fast, faster than expected. Came out kind of hot with everybody there, and yeah, it was under 3 hours, so I didn't expect that, and yeah, first loop was great. Of course, the first time I had seen the course, so that made it even better. Kind of purposely, and it's the first time running the race, so I knew it was flat and didn't do any prep work on the course because it was a loop. So I figured if it was fresher, the better.
I think one of the big things with that first loop is obviously the weather's always big, because the temperature, it's always cold at the start of the long haul, but eventually it warms up.
That's exactly what happened.
Yeah, I thought the temperature was perfect for the start, and yeah, even the second loop was kind of nice. But by the time the third one was starting, yeah, I slowed down big time on the third one because it was a big change of temperature. Even though it was only like 70 degrees or whatever, it felt a lot warmer than that.
Yeah, and I guess that's a good point because that really does lead you into the afternoon. That third loop, you're getting to the point where you're almost halfway done. How did y'all feel in that third loop?
I was looking forward to the night for sure, the evening, because I felt the heat during the day, and because we were so exposed, like it's beautiful out there, right? But the sun was out, and we were just exposed.
Yep.
And I really did feel the heat. Usually, I'm okay with heat. I run really well with heat, but I felt that one, and then that's when I slowed down. So I was really looking forward to the third loop, just to get dark. Somebody was behind me, like, "Oh, it's not gonna last any longer. Don't worry, it's gonna get dark here in a minute." And then it did drop pretty fast too in that temperature. Um, so I just remember being really cold at night. So it's like damn if you do, damn if you don't. Like whatever. You can never get really that. Only the first two loop was really the perfect weather, and then the rest was kind of for me shitty for me anyway.
Uh, Third loop was great for me. I had a nice shoe change. Nicole actually grabbed me a pair of the Mountain Coast R1s from the vendor guy, and I actually ended up wearing them for the entire rest of the race because they felt so good. But I've been having plantar fasciitis problems for since July, and my feet were killing me. And she also actually managed to snag a perfectly timed pizza from the food truck. So going out on the third loop, man, I was in high spirits. It was, yeah, it was a good loop. Yeah, it just kind of reignited me, I guess. I was still kind of warming up from the first and second. Take a while to get warmed up, but uh, yeah, it was a good loop for me. Always good. I was definitely craving some colder temperatures because the sun was in full bloom by then, but good, good loop. I enjoyed it.
Same with me. I was excited for the night, ready for the third one to get over with.
Yeah, Jeff, I mean, your back was all out of whack, but how'd your third loop go?
Well, I mean, it was actually, it wasn't too bad. I kind of went slow so I could run with Lindsay when I got to pick up a pacer at mile 50. So yeah, mile 3, lap 1 through 3 were pretty easy for me, and then Lindsay started running me hard on lap 4, and then 5 or 6 I was just speed walking all the time. Pretty embarrassing, but I got it. I mean, that's all I could do at that point.
Yeah, so you finished that third loop, you got the fourth loop, and now, did you have any issues or surprises on that fifth loop? Because I know like that coming into that fifth loop, everything kind of just blurs together. I see it all the time at the aid station. That fifth loop, it can make or break a lot of people.
Yeah. I don't think I was getting broken that day. Dude, they're gonna have to drag me off that course. Like I just
You,
I went too far, and it's my first one, and if I never want to do it again, I don't have to. But man, I was ready to die out there. So
I don't think your wife is going to let you.
unfortunately,
dude, you look strong the whole time.
I can do a lot better. But
Fifth loop
I was
really got me. I was not in the mood anymore. I was tired and ready to throw the towel, but I mean you expect that. I mean, you expect that that's going to be the hardest loop, the fifth and the sixth, right? And because it's so easy to quit during that time, you're mile 70 or 80, whatever. I just knew that was going to be all mental from here on. That's going to push me. That's why the pacer is such an important part of this race. I don't know if everybody else here had a pacer, but definitely I relied on my pacer to push me through and really, stick to the pace that I needed to get. At that time, I still wanted the green buckle, so I was still trying to chase that. Um, but I got really rude and mean at some point. So, like I think I almost cried at Joe aid station. I was almost crying because there was no hot potato soup.
I might have seen you
and
there. I
and
think.
all I really wanted, yeah, I was like, "Where's the hot potato soup, Joe?"
I
And
think
and
I
he was
did.
just so helpful.
You got some potatoes
Go
and
ahead.
broth, didn't you?
I did. And then like, I don't
I
know, it
saw
was just
you there.
it was one of those. I felt kind of bratty a little bit. And then I told them, please forgive me. Even my crew, they were cheering me on and they were being really loud. And I was like, please be quiet. Like, I don't want to hear anything right now. It's just, it's just all mental. Like, I really wanted to quit, but I knew I couldn't quit, like you just couldn't. Kind of like what Jeff is saying, like you have to drag me out of here. But Joe, me, yeah, in the back of my mind going into this race, I had to finish this by 8 o'clock in the morning because I had to go to that Indiana Miami game.
National championships.
I had to go to the Natty game and I had to go. And so
Good.
I was like, I got to go finish this as early as I can because we got to drive down to Miami. So I don't know. That was definitely helpful too. But fifth and sixth was just hard and it was all mental, but I got through it.
Yeah, I saw a lot of people have problems on the fifth and coming to that kind of wall and decision time. And I actually think I was at the aid station dealing with my watch at the exact same time as her. I think and she tried to, and I think I sat down and had some potatoes and broth. Somebody
Yeah.
recommended that. I think it was you. You were sitting there eating and drinking, and so I got some of that and tried to not lose it over the stupid watch, and kind of had a rough
Yeah.
patch right then. But then when I got my watch back on, it was like head down. Let's get this thing done because once I kind of see that
Yeah.
end in
Yeah.
sight, I'm just like a man on a mission. And so once I knew if I could
Yeah.
just get around on that fifth, it was game on the sixth. I mean, at that point,
Mhm.
all I can see is that finish line. And yeah, it's uh, once that fifth was done, done. It was pretty much,
But yeah, you were done. Once
yeah,
the fifth loop was done, you're pretty much
yeah.
done.
Kind of like a celebration at each aid station or each, route you kick. It's
100%.
like, all
Yeah.
right, well, see you later. That's the last time I see you tonight. So, yeah, that was the make or break lap, though. I think that fifth one for a lot of people. I think people kind of stopping
calling it quits.
Yeah, the fourth and fifth for me were actually pretty smooth. Um, I ran actually with a bunch of new people. I met a group of dudes from, I'm not sure where they were from, but they were triathlon people, and the kids' only goal was to run a sub 1200K, and we got them to that point. It was fun chatting with them. We both have shoe addictions, so talked about shoes for a little bit, and I was past my wall. My wall is really like between 20 and 30 miles. If I make it past that, the 100's gonna be fine, but it's just, I don't know. It was good. And then we went into the dark and it got cold as hell. And yeah, I was freezing my ass off by the time I got back to the aids to our tent where I could actually pick up a jacket. And that was hard determining which jacket I needed. Like, do I need something thick? Do I need something thin? Do I need my beanie back? What do I need? And I think I just ended up going with a buff to put over my ears. It worked. It worked. It worked. I
Just a
wasn't too
buff.
cold. Just a buff. Yeah. Yeah. We left with the buff.
You had all those choices, but you left with the buff.
I had all sorts of choices, but you know, there was definitely brain fog. I may have,
Yeah,
you know,
changing to like changing itself doesn't really matter, but I did change my whole outfit. Not, like just it because my pack was all wet. I think my crew didn't tighten the whatever it was enough, so when the water was bouncing and got my back wet.
oh,
So
Oh
I was
man.
freezing that
oh,
loop because my back was so wet, but then I changed and then I felt like a whole new person, like it makes a huge difference even if you don't feel like you need to change, just changing something makes you feel like you're starting you're starting fresh.
that is the worst
Yeah.
when your bladder is not fully
Yeah.
sealed, and that's the
Oh,
worst.
and it's like you don't want to stop to like fix it, but because it's too late.
No.
I'm already
Nope.
wet. Just keep going.
It'll get low enough to the point where it won't splash anymore, and we'll be
Exactly.
all right.
Exactly.
Yeah, so I guess take me into that final loop, loop number 6. Obviously you just got the aid stations to see one final time, and take me into that final loop. How'd it go down?
All right, I'll go. So the final loop was really good, super cold. I was moving a little slow, and Nicole had given me word that John Boffman had told her that he was going to catch me. So I'm trying to
He's a beast, man.
move. Dude, that guy is
That
a
is a
freak of
beast.
nature.
Oh my
I have a
God.
totally new respect for that dude. And
Mhm.
I see this guy, somebody coming up on me. I just see the headlamp, bouncing down the trail. And I'm looking at the ground at that point because it's dark. And I see a guy with no fucking shoes on, pardon my language. And, yeah, it's John. And he comes bouncing by me and I'm like, what's up, man? Talking to him. And so I started doing his little intervals with it. He was doing like a walk around. I don't know if he was doing like a 2-1 or something, but he was flying on his runs. And then finally he's like, all right, I'm about to breathe real hard. And this dude was gone. I'm like, all right, well, I guess he's going to beat me. He was right. He
Yeah.
flew by me.
Shout out to
And
John.
I
Yeah.
was, yeah, hell yeah. He kicked some ass. He wanted to hit his PR, so props to him on doing that. I believe he did hit his PR,
Yeah.
and that's freaking awesome. But he kept me moving. I was getting actually really tired, and at one point I was getting kind of dizzy, and I'm like, I know there's a bench on the way to Boots and Saddles. I'm gonna lay down, which terrible idea. But I had a thing of chapstick in my little back phone pocket on my shorts. which don't actually fit a phone. So that's where I keep my chapstick. And I lay down. I'm like, oh shit, that's uncomfortable. So I got up immediately and I kept moving and brought her in. And it was, yeah, it was good. My only goal really was sub 20. I hit it by 11 minutes and I was very thankful for that. And, oh, it was a beautiful thing.
Yeah, my John, just shout out to John Bowman. He was running better than anybody I saw at the end of the race. He passed me. He lapped me at the think at the end of my fifth. He was coming in, and yeah, he said something about looking for Lucas as he passed. John and I are friends, so we had kind of a friendly thing going on, and but he was out running as good as anybody that I saw at any time in those late miles. And yeah, yeah, my last lap was kind of a celebration. I just couldn't wait to get it in, and I was fighting the whole time for the 24-hour thing. And I hit the 100-mile at 23 hours and 48 minutes. But I knew at that point that I had like I think it was 101.7 to the total mileage. And I had I think I heard Lucas or somebody coming out of the last aid station, one of the leaders, talking to somebody on the phone and saying, hey, I left the last aid station, but my watch already said 99 miles. So I knew going into that last lap that I was, we were going to be over 100 miles. So I dug. I hit the 100 mile at 23:48 and realized I wasn't going to make it back. Gave it my best effort to move. I just realized I wasn't going to knock down an 8-minute mile for a mile and a half. So, yeah, that last lap was a celebration. And, for me, really, that fifth was the toughest. And, yeah, I'd shout out to John and Lucas and everybody, to all the leaders. I think they all passed me at finishing theirs up on my into my fifth. So yeah, everybody looked great.
I was just walking, I knew I had to complete it. I was getting emotional sometimes I'm like, I hope I don't cry at the finish line like a little baby when Michael's taking pictures of me. But it's like kind of on the course, I knew I had it. I had it in the bag just because I've been training walking so much. So, worst case scenario, I was going to do that. So, that's what my six was like. I didn't find it too difficult. I mean, I was just walking fast. That's all I was doing. My heart rate was low. I'm just trying to keep it under like a 20-minute mile at this point. So, which wasn't hard to do. It's just, I tried to run a little bit, do an ultra shuffle, but it's just, my legs just didn't feel like they were there. So it was the weirdest feeling. They felt like accordions. So, yeah, just kind of finished it out and was pretty excited when I finished.
I saw you crying out there.
You didn't see me crying. You were crying, Luke.
No, I saw you crying. I swear to God, you ran by me crying like a little baby.
If it was me, I wasn't running.
You were walking.
I was definitely locked in to finish quickly. I think the last 5 miles, after seeing your aid station, Joe, saying bye to you guys, I'm like, let's just go. Let's get this done and over with. I just want to get out of here. I mean, like, again, I had an agenda, right? Like I need to go somewhere. So I knew I wasn't going to hit that 24-hour mark, but I tried, and then I was doing the math while I was actually running. I was trying to do all the math, and I knew it didn't make sense. So I did just went as fast as I can. I tried to do the under 13 to 15 minute mile. I was still doing my intervals, 35 seconds of resting, walking, meaning, and then 45 seconds of running. So that really just kind of kept my goal, just to finish as fast as I can. So it was a celebration for sure. The last lap is always the best lap because it's the last one. So it's a good celebration lap. I cried a little bit. That's okay.
Acceptable.
I was happy. It's a happy cry. Like I'm done.
Hell yeah.
I saw Luke run, man. But I will say, after the race, I've never felt my body at like 1% battery, and that's exactly what it felt like. It's just like I've never been that close to death in my life.
Everyone, every race.
Yeah, but I tried to explain what it felt like to people who haven't done it, and I try to tell them the best way possible is to imagine you're a god and you're walking amongst men or whatever like that. That's what it kind of feels like, and it's hard to go back to a normal life, and it's kind of depressed. It's depressing to go back to the world of accounting and stuff like that after you've done something that amazing.
Accounting.
Yeah.
Wait until this podcast go out. See what happens. Your life. You're gonna be celebrity.
There
You
is
know,
some
it's like,
depression that comes with it.
sometimes you feel like a god at the finish, but take me into that finish line. All of y'all had finished at different times. Y'all had different goals, but how
Yeah.
did it feel to cross that finish line?
Well, I was just making sure everybody on this podcast finished before me, so that's kind of what my goal was.
Goal made.
No,
Yeah.
no, like seriously, I had an A goal of sub 24, which went away. B goal of 27, and C goal of 30. But truly, my goal was just getting it complete. I mean, being my first time, but
Yeah.
but I will say
Absolutely.
this: I looked at my clock, and it was like 9:45, and we're probably like a mile away. And I'm like, I was with Lindsey Smith, and I'm like, we really need to push this. I think I can get sub 27. So we started pushing and pushing, ended up like 2 minutes from the 27 marker. So I got my beagle on my first try doing the race. So I was happy with that.
You crushed it, man. You did great.
Yeah. Good job on your first
Yeah.
one. That's amazing.
Yeah, Luke, I hear about you and Ari and all them. Y'all are like really good in the game. It's like, maybe I'm just getting started in the game. I don't know, but yeah, I mean, I'm a pretty fast runner, but it's just like I said, it's like my first 100, man. I'm going against a lot of experience out there, and I have none. And like I said, I learned a lot. So we'll see
The
if I
only,
keep going. See if
the
I
only
keep.
way to learn is to go do it.
Yep.
So,
Yes, ma'am.
mhm.
Exactly. The sky's the limit from here. I
Yeah.
mean, it's
Yeah.
it's the first one is always the hardest.
Oh, yeah.
It just gets easier. I don't know if it gets easier, but you just learn how to suffer better.
Yeah. You know what to
And
expect. You learn, and you can't really learn without really
exactly.
experiencing it. And that's the thing about what you just said. You can't really tell somebody how it feels, even when they're asking you, like, hey, give me some advice on how to run a 100. You can only tell them so much, because really sometimes this is all your personal experience, and they may handle heat and sleep deprivation, or feet sore or vomiting different. Like, everybody's just so different. So, but that's the beauty of the sport, and that's why we love it.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, like, you
Different
just
every
never
time.
know. Yeah, you never know what you're gonna get every single race. Nothing is ever the same, and that's the beauty of it.
Yeah, and I'm losing a lot of toenails here recently. My wife won't even kiss my feet anymore.
I lost 2 from this
Uh,
race. I lost 2.
Yeah.
I had none to lose.
You're all lost.
I'm all out of
They're
toenails.
they're in South Florida, Luke.
But
No, they're
Joe,
in my shot glass.
Joe, to go back to your question about, like, the finish line, right? Like, the finish line is like that feeling of, wow, you completed it. But man, 2 minutes right after I crossed that line, I felt everything, like all the pain and all the, like, I felt dizzy, I felt, nausea, everything. It's kind of just hit you after you cross that line. I mean, I felt it during the race, but not as much as when you finish that line. It's like your body's probably telling you, like, okay, you're done. Like, it's time to just, I don't know, let it all out. But I went straight to the bathroom and took a shower. I just immediately just want to take a shower, but I sat there in a hot shower, and because we stayed at the campground, and I really wanted to vomit because I knew that it was going to make me feel better, but nothing was coming out because I didn't eat enough, right? So it just I felt awful right after the finish line. That's all I can say. I felt like I was dying. As Jeff was saying, it's like you're literally at 1% and there's really nothing you can give anymore. So
Yeah, I had nothing left. I had been pushing, trying to, break, get the green buckle, and I went up to sub 24 and tried to push a little harder, but I didn't. I felt like if I went as hard as I needed to go, I was gonna hurt myself. But when I got done, I went back to my parking spot, and just went to the ground and pretty much stayed there, watch people finish, or run through parking lot C. And to be honest, I think I was probably more beat up for that one that I felt than for Pinhoti. I think just because of all the flat running for whatever reason. But I was exhausted, didn't have anything left, and was pretty beat up. But and ecstatic to be finished, and yeah, kind of like to try to stick around as long as I can manage and watch a few people finish. But about like her, ready to go get in a hot shower and somewhere else.
But yeah, obviously y'all crushed it. You got those buckles. And I guess, we can start to close out this podcast with, I guess I'll go back to what I used to do, the good, the bad, and the ugly out there. So what was the good and the bad and the ugly for y'all out at the 2026 Long Haul 100 Mile?
honestly, I only have the good, really, Joe. I mean, honestly, to tell you the truth, like it was just such a great race for me anyway. I've never worked. I don't know how Luke and everybody else that are fast out there to do a 20 hour or 19 hour. Like, I don't know how y'all do it because, man, finishing at 25, I felt like I worked so hard. I never stopped. Like, I just kept moving. I didn't even sit down for a second. My crew was feeding me. I wasn't, while I was trying to do something. I never stop. And then if I did stop and actually sat down, I don't think I would have finished that time that I wanted, but I worked my ass off the whole entire time. And that's the good part about it, because I knew that was going to happen. I don't feel any bad, any worse. This year was perfect. It was amazing. I wish I could have gotten that green buckle, but I work hard and I'm proud of that 25 hours. I'm just going to keep it that way and say that there was really nothing I could change. There's no regrets. That's it.
The good, the bad, the ugly. The good, I knew what to expect going into it. Being my third year, same course, kind of. I mean, I guess he switched it up. It was basically a Colt 45 backwards, ish. But the course was beautiful. I can't say there was any bad. Aid stations were great, perfectly spread apart. The weather was fairly nice. I guess the ugly would be the cold weather. Cold weather's tough because I mean you layer up and then like half a mile in you're shedding layers. It was just really hard to figure out that part. Yeah, that's really it. I mean, that's all I got as far as good, bad, and ugly. But finishing was fantastic. Getting back and having the little buddy space heater blowing right on me at 3 o'clock in the morning when it's 40 degrees out or whatever it was. That was nice.
I would say if you're done, Luke, my good
Yeah,
was
go ahead.
my good was definitely like having my wife at the aid station and seeing her like 2 times each round, and then going up to the North Aid Station, and I met this guy named Andy that was super helpful with like everything. I think he was a PT guy too. And then going back to the main aid station and having Chris there was also helpful. So I mean, just the volunteers that were there like made a huge impact on my performance. So what could you possibly want more from that race? That race was just nearly perfect. Everything,
Yeah.
every aspect of it is perfect. There can't be any bad unless it's personal, like your legs fell off or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah. Agreed.
Yeah, it
Good
was
point.
fat.
Good point.
It was great. I mean, I don't really have anything bad. I had
the good was the course and the community, you know, and just the community aspect of the entire race, the way it's designed, and the aid stations were off the chart. Yeah, and it was faster than I thought. Yeah, so if you ever want to PR 100, that's definitely a good one to go to. And yeah, no ugly, but besides, like Luke said, the cold front, and especially the one that came whipping in at the very end there, and when I was laid out in the grass, and caught those last finishers. But other than that, race was perfect, and I'll definitely be back going after that green buckle, and yeah, trying to PR again.
All right.
Yeah,
Boom.
Jeff, what's next for you? What's your next 100?
I'm not doing a 100. There's always been this goal that I want to get.
You're just saying that now, Jeff.
No,
You'll sign up.
Take your
No,
Give it a
time.
month.
and I've talked to Fuller about this. Oh no, I'm not scared of 100.
Yeah.
But my
Depends
next
how
goal,
fast.
my next goal is kind of I'm gonna go for a sub 19 5K. I've been around a 1928, and I just want to see if I can just push it below 19 before I get too old to do that. So something to keep me excited, you know.
That's the way to go. 5K, baby.
5K, get it over with, go home, have a biscuit.
That's the best part about the 5K. You're done.
I know you're probably my pacer, Fuller.
We need to go out and do another time trial
Yeah.
because I need to get under. See if I have enough right now to go under 17.
Nice.
Easy. You got that all day, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're like 630 miles. This dude's making me jealous.
I
Yeah.
know.
He's eating us for breakfast.
Oh, I know he's going to sneak. We're going to see him in one of these races all of a sudden.
Well,
He's going to sneak in one year and he's going to destroy all of us.
I know. I can't wait.
it seems like
I mean,
2 or 3 months ago, I was like, I want to do a time trial, and I thought he was going to pace me, and he ends up running a sub 18, and I just like melt after mile one. 'Cause I'm like, I got to stay with my pacer, but it ended up, Fuller just murdered me. But he was nice enough to have water at the end of it. He preemptively drove out there and got water at near the finish line, so that was nice of him.
what a guy.
Impressive work, Joe.
What's next for you?
Oh, just kidding. Next for me was is Big Scrub 150.
Nice.
So if this comes out before February 7th and anybody wants to pace me, that's not going to be a death to bequeath. Yeah, reach out, which would be the day before the Super Bowl and the day of. So yeah, kind of having like a little birthday celebration for the big 4-0. Figured that would be the best way to kick off getting old. So
Oh, you're coming to the Masters division. Damn it.
You just
You
slow down.
competition.
Give me a little time before you get there, Luke. Yeah, I'm going to try a backyard for my birthday in August, but before then, I'm going to. I got a 50K up in Alabama, and that's kind of in training for Skunk Ape 100 in April.
Nice.
that was my second 100, Skunk Ape.
Yeah, I ran the 50 last year. I like the course, so yeah, we'll see how it goes. But yeah, so yeah, Mount Cheehaw 50K, and then Skunk Ape 100 for me.
Well, I was telling Joe today that I'm going to hold back a little bit on the 100 milers and stick to some fun runs, like a 50K so you can be home middle of the day. And I really like Lake to Ocean, that course. So I'm kind of hoping I can do that again this year. And then for my birthday, I'm going to do the rim to rim to rim this year. So, and just do some fun things, switch it up a little bit, but definitely do some trail running in there, but maybe a 100 a year. Just stick to that. Keep it simple.
Probably smart, but
my hope is to finish the Pinhoti one of these days. I tried to do it twice already at DNF, so I'm hoping that's my first goal mountain race is the Pinhoti one of these days.
good luck to everybody in all their future races.
Thanks. Thank you. You too.
Yes,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah, and thank you guys for hopping on and as we figure out the restart of this podcast.
Thanks, Joe. Thanks for putting us up here.
Oh yeah.
Have a good night, y'all.
Have a good night.
All right, Scooby Snacks.
Good night. Yeah.
Scoop snack.
Scooby Snacks.
Scooby snack, Jeff.
Hey,
Scooby snack. Scooby snack, Jeff.
It's
Starting in the north, Tallahassee. Starting Central Florida, Tampa, Ocala, Orlando, Day City. Green Swamp, headed down south. Headed to the Keys, Lake to Ocean. Miami, out to the East Coast, Daytona, Jacksonville, Pioneer Trail. On a single trail, running 1 to 100 miles. 8 station to 8 station, all around. The Florida Trail Runner.
All right, there we have it for episode 114 of the Florida Trail Runners podcast with the Long Haul 100. As I said, I'm glad to be back. I'm excited. I'm using a different app this time, a different editing software. So I'll be working out the kinks on that end. So as these episodes progress, they'll hopefully get better. But, I'm glad to be back. And needless to say, the Long Haul 100 mile, it is one of my favorite races here in Florida. It's where I finished my first 100 miler in like 31 hours or something like that. And it's where I have DNF'd 5 times. But the 8th station this year, it was so much fun seeing everybody out there, grinding it out and going for it. So big thank you, Andy, Amy, Justin with the timing, and Mike Alberts for snapping those race photos. And that's about it for this time. So, hey, until next time, happy trails.
Don't let me go. Through the hammock, the marsh, and the glow. Florida Trail Runner. Oh, the state trail runner. Near and far. Florida Trail Runner. Florida is the home. Out in the woods, out in the swamps, down by Lake Coachee. It started with a podcast, now it's a thing. The Florida Trail Runner. I see the skunk case chasing me down. I'm doing the long haul, running all over town. 8 station to 8 station, I see the skunk case chasing me down. I'm doing the long haul, running all over town. Starting in the north, Tallahassee. Starting Central Florida, Tampa, Ocala, Orlando, Day City. Green Swamp, headed down south. Headed to the Keys, Lake to Ocean. Miami, out to the East Coast, Daytona, Jacksonville, Pioneer Trail.